Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the FDA report that just came out on grain-free diets and the potential effect that it could have on your dog because, oh my gosh, they're saying heart problems, right? And this is a huge red flag for us as dog parents. So rewind a little bit. My name is Courtney Green. I'm the owner of Dog Squad LA, and most importantly, I'm a dog mom who really cares about what's going in her beautiful baby's little bellies. So I want to really dive into this report and see exactly what was said instead of what is just being broadcasted, because we all know, we see that a lot. What is actually the truth may not be what is being put up on the media. So I wanted to see for myself, just like I want to encourage you guys to look for yourself as well. I'm going to link the report, the FDA report, or you can just Google FDA Grain-Free Diet 2019 report, and you could read this report yourself. But if you're busy and you just want to know all of the facts from it, I read it several times, and I have my notes here. I have several bullet points that I've just copy and pasted so that I can give you the exact numbers of what I read. And you're gonna be just as shocked as I was. And I'm not gonna lie, my mommy side kicked in real quick and I was upset. I was like, what the hell? I feed this to my dogs. I recommend this to all of my clients and friends and everyone who has a dog because I'm a strong believer of the grain-free diet. So I felt attacked. But no, I'm just kidding. I wanted to know exactly what the facts were, and I have them all here and I wanted to share them with you guys. So first, on June 27th, the FDA came out with a report that said that they potentially have an association between grain-free diet and DCM. And DCM is dilated cardiomyopathy. It's a heart condition in dogs, and it's usually found in dogs that are larger breed, male dogs, and most of the dogs are predisposed, which we're gonna get to in a bit. But what happened is the FDA came out with that report a couple of weeks back, and instead of reporters saying this is a potential link, we're going through, our testing, and we're going through all of the things we're supposed to before we say this is official, all of the headlines said grain-free diet is bad for your dog. So everyone was freaking out, like they should be. I got many calls, and before I wanted to give any information, I wanted to know for myself. So this is what I found out. This has actually been going on for 5 years now. The first testing for grain-free diet association with heart conditions or any other conditions actually started in January of 2014. And you'd be just as surprised as I am to find out that the FDA report actually says there's 515 reports of canines with DCM in the last 5 years. That's not a lot of dogs. I mean, it breaks my heart to hear any dog is suffering, but if you think about it, this report also said there's 77 million dogs in the US. So out of the 77 million dogs, 515 of them have been reported to have DCM in the last 5 years. So first red flag right there. The next red flag to me was, out of these 515, so there's two numbers. There's 515, which are the dogs reported, and then there's 560, which are the dogs that have been affected. So they had two numbers, so I'm just gonna go with the dogs that have been reported, but if you hear 560, I just wanna let you know that that's why that number is different from the 515. So out of the 560, let's say all of the ones that have been affected, 95 of those dogs have been golden retrievers, which are predisposed to this condition. So to me, that was the second red flag. Why it's even considered in the reports, I'm not 100% sure, but those are the two things that I thought were really suspicious. First, that's not a lot of dogs in comparison of how many dogs and the time that they've been testing. And a big chunk of the dogs, about what, 1/5, a sixth of the dogs are predisposed, a breed. That was the largest breed that had that condition that were reported in the last 5 years. So I really thought that was interesting. Another major thing that I think was blown out of proportion in the report headlines that a lot of people saw on the news and jumped to the grain-free diet is 90% of the dogs that were reported were on a grain-free diet, which shouldn't be a shocker to any of you guys, because if you think about it, we're all feeding our dogs grain-free. So if any dog goes in to get some kind of blood work done or anything and they're on grain-free diet, I don't really see that as a huge factor that's like, whoa, what is that? If it was a specific brand or anything like that, but on a large scale, a lot of us are feeding grain-free. So I thought that was a little fishy. You can make your own judgment there. But another thing that I think we both can agree on is that 93% of the dogs that were reported actually had a flea or lentil diet. And flea or lentil, Jesus Christ, peas or lentils, makes more sense. There we go. Okay, it's Saturday. Are you guys with me here? Okay, so 93% of the dogs were on a pea or lentil diet, which means that their food had peas or lentils, which if you guys are on a grain diet, go take a look in the ingredients. They also have peas and lentils. So this doesn't knock out the grain-free diet. So these red flags to me, what are those, 4? That to me is like, okay, who is paying for these, who's paying for this whole thing? Who's paying for the marketing? Who's paying for all of these tests? I wanna know who's behind it. So if you're with me, that's what I wanna know. Because no one was saying pea and lentil diets are connected to DCM, or pea and lentil diets are connected to heart disease. Check your food brand, or check anything that you're feeding. Pea and lentils could be in cooked food. That wasn't talked about enough, but instead it was attacked immediately on the grain-free diet. So I had suspicion. If you do as well, I really encourage you to read the report. But another thing, if you're not with me here, one thing I found interesting is that the FDA actually tested both grain-free diets and diets that contain grain, and they had pretty much similar results. And they've been testing grain-free diets over and over again, and they have come back with no what's the word? Nothing's abnormal. Nothing is abnormal. So the fact that they're going through their testing, they're up to their standards at the FDA, and there's just saying that there's a potential association between grain-free diets and DCM, this heart condition. So another thing that they brought up in this report is that environmental factors are also under investigation for being linked. So environmental conditions could be, you know, eating a poisonous plant in the backyard. It could be heavy metal toxicity or exposure. There's tons of things that could happen in the environment that could make dogs have this condition. So that's also underway. Again, not shown or blasted on everyone's headlines, only the grain-free diet. So the last thing that I really wanted to bring up with this whole topic with the FDA investigation is that on June 27th, when this report came out, they're really in the early stages of this testing. They're in the initial stages of blood work and all of the panels that they have to do. And in 6 months is when they're really going to do their next checkup. They have a 6-month checkup. So I thought it was a little premature for everyone just to say grain-free diets, because so many people have switched diets if they didn't look into it or anything like that. And the problem with that is if these people that were spreading this information really truly cared about their dogs, you know, everyone's dogs and what they're eating and the transition, there should have been more information on how you transition your dog to a new diet, because you can't just say, oh, screw this isn't good, I heard it on the news, we're gonna feed this. There's a transition to that. And if you have questions, please ask me, because there's a couple week process. You should look to see if your dog has any allergies or intolerances. There's tons of things that you need to look into if you switch the diet. So if you did do that, please let me know below and let me know if you have any questions. But there is still a 6-month recheck in progress. So when we're further along in this investigation, I'm gonna give you guys an update, but I do want you guys to know this is not final at all. This is just something that came out. There's a potential association, and we have questions, and obviously we should be aware. So that's what we want to get into next, is what do we do with this information? So the first thing that we do is we ask questions. We don't just listen to everything that we see on the TV or everything we see on Facebook or something that someone said at the dog park or you heard through one of your friends. You always want to look up and go to the exact source. All of these things that I'm getting here, all of the notes that I have for you, these are all from the FDA's report that they released, and everyone has dissected it in the ways that they want to see it. And I need you guys to get in the habit of dissecting it in your way so you can make the right choice for your family, for your dogs. So do your own research. The next thing that you want to do is pay attention to your dog. Do they have any signs? So that's what I want to know as a dog mom. How do you look for the signs? I'm not going to say this is 100% false, whether or not it's my opinion or not. I want to know, what are the possible signs of DCM? What am I going to have to do as a dog mom to keep my dog safe? So the possible signs of DCM or any other heart conditions include decreased energy, coughing, difficulty breathing, and episodes of collapse. So it is getting hotter, so I do need you guys to keep that in mind, but use your intuition. Is your dog showing any of these signs? Have you been on a grain-free diet for a long time? Just pay attention. Don't knock something off as absolutely this is false, or absolutely yes, this is true. Just use your intuition, pay attention, and do your research. What I would do, I wouldn't 100% switch the diet. If the food is working for you and you don't have any of these signs, and you've gotten your dog in your annual checkup and everything is good, there's no need to change it. But what I would do is I would make sure that you're fully covered. So add some probiotics. Probiotics are amazing for not only us, for your dogs. So get some for you and your dog, pop them at the same time, and you guys are best friends like everything else. It's great. So the reason why I want you guys to give probiotics is because probiotics really allow your dog to receive the most nutrients from the food you're already giving. So whatever you're giving, a raw diet, cooked food, kibble, grain-free, not grain-free, peas and lentils, potatoes, vegan food, who knows, okay? Whatever you're feeding your dogs, give a probiotic so that it helps absorb the nutrients more. And just like I said, this is what you should do for yourself. So the probiotic that you want to give your dog, I have a few recommendations, but you want to make sure that it's the lactobacillus probiotic, because that's the one that's going to help absorb all those nutrients, and it's going to really increase meal times potential, I guess. So you want to add probiotics, and there's other supplements that you can give, like coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, natural things at home, which will be another video that you could add as vitamins and supplements, but you want to get some kind of probiotic. So the ones that I recommend are Just Food for Dogs. There's 60 capsules. If you guys don't know Just Food for Dogs, find them on social media or on their website, or visit them in Sherman Oaks and visit. They're just amazing. Just go. You can go to Just Food for Dogs, get theirs. If you go to your vet, you can get Fortiflora, or you can order Fortiflora, which are, it's in a box, it's like black and purple, I think. They are by Purina, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they are the ones that are sold by your veterinarian, and you could order them if you have the prescription from Chewy, or you can get it at Walmart Pharmacy and stuff like that. And then the last one that I like is from the brand Nature Vet. If you guys see here, Nature Vet, we're gonna go over this cream in the next video, but Nature Vet has really great probiotics and all kinds of supplements, joint supplements, anything you're looking for, they're great. So I want you guys to look into giving probiotics, and also if your dog's eating grass, this is gonna help. And then the last thing that you could add to food, we're gonna feed two birds with one stone, is bad breath. I'm getting a lot of questions on bad breath, what you should do, and if you have 5 dogs like me, you don't have the time or money to keep up with all of the dental chews, whimsies, greenies, all of those, but if you do, that's great if you're giving them enough to really get off the tartar. But what I really recommend is every time you go grocery shopping, get some fresh parsley and dice it up in their food and give it to them fresh every time. So that's really gonna get some tartar off. It's gonna help with their breath. It helps really quickly, and this is what I've done over the years. It's really, really amazing. Another thing you can do is coconut oil. Give a little tablespoon of coconut oil in their food, let them lick it. If you make a paste with coconut oil and parsley, you could either freeze it and give them as a treat, and that works wonderful, or you can make a paste and put it on the floor and make them lick it, maybe outside or something, or inside, I don't know, but that's really good for their teeth. Or you can put it in a Kong, which I like to do. It's nice and clean, and it's longer lasting. So those really help. Probiotics also help because it helps with the gut. So a lot of that smell actually is the gut. And regular chew bones for tartar, all of those, that really helps. But my main things are parsley in the food, or parsley and coconut oil made as a little treat. And the last thing I want to give on parsley and coconut is they're both antimicrobial. So they're really good at getting rid of that really smelly bacteria, which you don't really want in your face, waking you up in the morning, right? So really look into those two. And then you also could get the Whimsies, which are grain-free treats. And they're also like the greenies and stuff, but make sure those are all size appropriate for your dog. All right, guys, so that's it on the FDA investigation, a little bit of food about probiotics, bad breath, and all of that good stuff. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day so far. It's really lovely. It is hot, so make sure you guys are staying hydrated and staying safe. And again, read this FDA report for yourself. Please, please, please. Everyone has their own opinion, and your opinion is what matters for your dog. So read the report and make your own, and let me know what you think. All right, guys, bye.